Okay, we're almost there.
You said
I'll get him from this side, you get him from that side. Just kind of up.
Let's see.
So I put him in.
All right, here we go. So we are there. We've hit the point, right? So couldn't be with you last time. Had some technical issues with whether Google Chrome Safari could not support what I was trying to do with my camera, and I needed to go all the way back to Firefox. I don't know how many of you guys have Firefox as a browser, but it's one that I've added and it works. And so I'm going to keep Firefox alive for me. Veronica, if you're out there and we are good, just throw something up on the chat for me or a text to let me know we are in good shape. And so hold on, making sure that we are good to go. We'll just wait just a minute or two so people get plugged in. All right, thank you guys. Now I know I'm not alone. I wasn't left behind. I thought I got left behind for a second. No, my wife tells me, she ain't being left behind because she knows where her faith lies. I said, okay. Well, if I'm here and you're here, we got problems. So last on Tuesday, we had a pretty big dose of an update, and I want to thank Dr. Atkins, who brought all that information to you. It was a lot. We hadn't been with you for a little bit. We took a little bit of hiatus so we can work through some things. So it's good to be with you today, and love the fact that I've got you guys. And today is almost the last day. And so, I'm excited about the fact that we're close. We're like real close. And I got some exciting news for you. Because the exciting news is that coming into tomorrow, we are at our last day. And guess what? I'm going to change hats because I'm going to celebrate with you. Whoa! Whoa! Because... you would have met and you would have been ready for graduation. Let's see what Trevor says. See what he says. All right. So here we go. I got the guys who got me all messed up here. All right. So just see what he says. All right, so I got the team calling me, so I'm making sure that we're good to go. Let me get myself arranged and cleaned up here because there's a lot of stuff everywhere. All right, so with that, you got updates around online learning. It's a choice. You got updates on calendar. It's something we're considering, and we're bringing more information forward for everybody. You got updates on registration, and you know that, hey, registration is a process that we need to take care of. Please do not stand in a long line. Go on, get registered, take care of it. It's fast, it's easy, it's quick, it's simple. So she gave you even some summer feeding that we moved towards. So a good dose of information. Good job, Dr. Atkins. I was actually doing a Facebook Live on a private Facebook, and I had 5 viewers. So those 5 who were plugged in, thank you. Because we just marched on. All right, so with today, I want to tell you I am so proud of everyone who joined us on this journey this year. It has been one to speak about for a very long time. We know that there are some things that we got really right, and there are some things that we got really wrong. But we learned through it, and that's what this is. We are a learning organization, and I appreciate all the feedback that we've been getting around all those facts. We learned through this online learning what people like, and we learned what people don't like. But it's been a journey. It's been a learning for us, and I appreciate everyone who's been a part of what that looks like. But what a year. Woo! What a year. Every year, we hold a session for our teachers that set the tone for the staff, and we call that Elevate. It's a learning time for us. They come into a conference setting. We have what's called a convocation, which is like a large rock concert celebration, just a shout out to all the hard work that is about to begin to start our school year. We called it building big dreams, and I think we met a huge part of that challenge, right? Whoever dreamed that we would walk out of our schools and have to now create an online learning platform for everybody. Who would have thought that in August of this past year, that's what was going to occur come March? Who would have thought that we would have walked out to spring break and we would not walk back into our school buildings again, and we would be working from home, we would be learning from home, we would be in this whole new normal, and a school that is built on socializing. Think about recess, and how do we think about recess going into our future, where we have to stay 6 feet apart, right? So how do we accomplish that? And do you disinfect after every time students go out for recess, the recess poles that are sitting out there, and bars and handles? It's just a whole interesting world that our team is going to be tackling on what we call re-entry. So as we get to tomorrow, which is our last day, I know that we have, along this journey, made you so mad. I know this. I know that we have delighted you. I know that we frustrated you. I know that we made you laugh, scream, and cry. Believe me, I know people have cried. But today is about celebration, because guess what? You made it. Tomorrow is our last day of school. And you know what? Tomorrow is an early release. We have it that way every year. I can recall being released in 8th grade and we had a shaving cream fight. This is the time right now. Tomorrow, half day parents. Tomorrow's an early release. So mom, dad, at-home learners, at-home guardians, at-home teachers, get ready, because we did it. And tomorrow you go half the day. So half the time. So plan for it. Make it fun. That's what we do in school. Make the last day fun. Because tomorrow, the 2019-20 school year is officially over. And man, oh man, oh man. For us, the work just begins. Because we are going to be launching into a lot more that we'll be bringing to you guys as we keep going. So think back, reflect on the year. Trust me, I know it. Celebrate all your achievements. I want even the little ones, meaning I was more patient today than I was yesterday. Today I was 10 minutes more patient. I had 10 minutes more patience in dealing with 3rd grade math. Or I stopped and I paused before I said something because maybe it came out just a little bit frustrated. But I will tell you, thank you. You've made it. So celebrate your first day, which I knew you came with excitement because I saw it. I was there. I was talking with a young kindergarten student who was crying because he was missing his mom. And I was consoling him and telling him that he could do that. We could do this together. And we walked out together and he cleaned up. And I said his mom would be so proud of him, to the point where now we are ending our last day. And so from that time in August to this time now, tomorrow in May, it has been an incredible journey, and you've stuck all the way through it. It is hard, without a doubt. I know it. I will say it every single time. This work, especially at home, has not been easy. But if it was easy for you, you missed your calling, because you should be with us and you should be a teacher. So mom, dad, everyone, kudos to you. Congratulations, because you did it. But just as we come to an end, just know that there's a beginning that starts with it. I know through research from the McKinsey Group and the Northwest Evaluation Association, called NWEA, they've done research previously and up to date as well to talk about something that we know that's called the summer slide. The summer slide is just where you end learning in May and you don't start your learning until August. And those months in between, You're not doing any learning. So as far as you've gone up a hill, you stop and you got to start up again. Or like I deemed, you've been in a race and you've been going so fast and you suddenly just stop and you start to get back into the race. So you can tell if you're in an Indy car race and you're going 200 plus miles an hour and you pull over and stop, to get back in the race, it takes you a minute to get geared up and hit your laps and get up with the lead group. So that's what the summer slide is. Well, couple that with COVID-19, and we're talking about what could amount to students regressing in their academics. They've measured math for what that could look like. And so with that, we know that there are students in the 4th grade who could regress back to 3rd grade. Some may be ready to move into 5th grade, and some may have stayed right at 4th grade. We know that this is going to be a factor for a number of our kids. So we know that we have kids that are ready, kids that are on target, and kids who are going to be behind. And so we built our summer learning designed around that concept to keep you engaged. It's designed to say, hey, it's going to allow you to keep your, not the rigorous pace that we've demanded or required or asked for or celebrated along the way with our at-home learning. Let me get that out fast. But we know that this is an opportunity for you to say, hey, if you want to spend an hour a day engaging in this work, here's how you can do it. I think there's that time. I think it's necessary. Trust me, if you are in 3rd grade and you are not reading, it is going to be dire straits from this point on, because we want to keep you ready and moving forward, because everything you get from 3rd grade to 12th grade is coupled around language. And so that's a critical factor. So we want to provide for you, and we're going to be there. And we know, guess what? It's going to be engaging. It's going to be hard, but I don't think it's going to be as hard as what we've been going through. You started the work. So let's be sure we don't come to a complete stop. And I know you've got this. It's going to be in 3 phases. So 1, we're going to see in camp. So summer camp. If you want to get into a summer camp where your child gets blown away with things that teachers are doing, might be literally, don't know if they're going to be rocketry or if there's going to be robotics or gaming, whatever it might be that teachers are designing and coming up with, you have that opportunity. If you want to be engaged with, I still want to stay connected around my core subjects, English, Math, Science, Social Studies as an example, you have that platform built there to get on, spend a little bit of time, and then get off. Then we have the students, we need you. And I need you to hear this. We need you because this plan is designed to help you stay caught up, to not lose any more ground. And that's our traditional summer learning plan. And that's designed for students who are behind, that we need to reach out to you. And parents, we sent information out today. I saw the phone call come to me as well as an email that listed out what that planning looks like so that you can start to build choices. The website will be up so that you can go to the website and see what that information looks like. We built our summer learning meal plan. All this will start June 8th. So just be ready for what we're going to embark on moving into our summer, June 8th. And for those kids who are saying, gosh, am I one of those kids? You'll know because we're calling you. We're reaching out to you. And mom, we need them here. No one wants to get to the end of a race and find out that they were not successful. And so our end of a race is called graduation. And I don't need you to think about those who are leaving you behind because you did not take care of the things you need to take care of now. I know it's hard. I know it's long. There is a payoff that comes to it. And that's the celebrations that we need along the way. So parents, we're counting on you to ensure that your learner, if behind, and we'll let you know if you're behind, needs to be engaged with us. We're not asking for all day. We're not asking for half a day. We're asking for give us them a couple of hours so that we can keep you and know where those gaps are and attack those gaps and keep you on pace. That's all it is. So that when you start back in August, and I hope we are all together in August, when we start back, we don't have as much ground to have to close because of the work that you put in the summer. And you will start to see the rewards build and build and build on each other as we make that happen. So, for those of you who want to join us over the summer, we promise that we would provide that opportunity, and it is coming. So do we have an opportunity for you? Summer Learning, June 8th. Check your email for email message and check out our midlandisd.net/summer 2020. That's where that's where you'll go to get information, not just on summer school, but summer meals, and maybe address some of your summer learning questions. If you have more questions, please reach out to your campus. Please do that. If you say, hey, I want to keep my kid moving through, my son, I want to keep him moving through, there's the enrichment. If you want to feel like, hey, I want to keep building a math skill. I saw that during the summer learning time. There were some gaps around that. I want to see what that could look like. If it is, hey, I want to join this camp, it seems really cool, do it. It's for everybody. And then if it's about, hey, I've got, I saw that my son was struggling or my daughter was struggling through this work. And we reach out and say, yes, they are, and we need them. Do what it takes to get them plugged in. I will tell you, the benefit will come, and I guarantee it will be there because that's what you want. So, I know, and I'm about to celebrate on the 30th, excuse me, with my senior. We only get 12 to 13 years with our kids. And let me tell you, it goes by fast. I can recall walking my daughter across the stage, into her kindergarten classroom. It was the hardest thing, or one of them, that I've had to do. And I'm an educator, and I was a school administrator, and my high school kids were going to be showing up an hour later, and I was going to need to be there to take care of those kids who just walk in with their great new shoes and tennis shoes. She was ready. Backpack she had her little outfit, her Mary Janes, her knee-high socks. I mean, she was ready. I made sure that girl was ready. Walked her to class, and after walking her to class, the teacher said, Mr. Riddick, it's time to leave. And I said, time to do what? She goes, yes, sir, you have to leave. And I was like, oh my gosh, I am leaving my most precious gift in the hands right now of this educator who I have met and known for very little time. We had parents who went through that this year, and it was hard, trust me, because I was with you. Here we go, 12 years later, and I'm walking her across the stage as a senior just a few short years ago, and blown away by how time goes by. All the moments. COVID will be just a memory that we have around this journey. It'll be one that will signify us, identify us, and help us, but it will be one. And so as we get through those 12 or 13 years, what I just ask that you do, even during this time, is savor every moment as precious. Because I guarantee it is. Even in the most frustrating times now, we will sit back and laugh, right? That we were that frustrated over third grade math. I mean, it will tax us. Because you can imagine, ninth grade algebra 1. Like, I have not been in a math class since, whatever that time was. And now I'm here to do algebra 1. I guarantee we will sit back and laugh about those times and savor it, savor every moment. Today, what I just want you to do is just take a breath and enjoy the blessing. Let's just count our blessings. Let's count our blessings that 1, we made it, and 2, that we will take the remaining years that we have and we will celebrate our children. Because that's what this is about. That's what we're in this for. And that will be an amazing time. And we'll have high fives all the way through. And then, we'll parade our hands afterwards so that we can know that our kids accomplished some great, great things. Because our country, our state, our community, our world, we need them now. We need them now more than ever. And we need people on our team who believe in that day in, day out, every minute. Because we have individuals who would work so hard late into the night, early in the morning, to make this as smooth as possible in a setting that we're in. So kudos to you, teachers and staff, who have been blown away by this COVID, and we fought back. And I appreciate how you stood in there. So with that, I will take questions. So let's jump on and let's get ready to rumble. All right, let's go. Let's see what we have here. Thank you guys for letting me know I was not left behind, because for a minute, like last week, I was just talking to myself, and then I saw 5 little smiley faces. I was like, ooh, that's a small audience today. So, summer camps, it's going to be key to your learning. Plug in, parents, to summer camps. Plug into the virtual learning. The summer camps, this is from Jessica, and her question is, are the summer camps virtual learning or at the campuses? It's going to be virtual for right now, Jessica, but our goal would be to make that hands-on, where you're there, you're in the mud, you got the rocket taken off, and nothing better than being present at the campus with that. It will evolve into what that could look like. For right now, it is virtual, but my goal is that we would have a summer camp, and they're free, that your kids can engage in, that bring their learning to life and bring their love to life. And so it will come. And thank you guys for responding to help her with that particular question. Thank you guys for throwing up the website. You see it right there, the www.midlandisd.net/summer 2020. We are in summertime. It is. Okay, so thank you, Sue. She asked, how do we know if our child is going to go to the next grade? One of the things that you can do to be prepared for this information is be in the Skyward into Family Access. You'll get reporting information from your teacher. Now, your teacher will let you know that your child is on track, your child has not been on track, or your child is missing. That will first let us know where your child is. Most students will progress to the next grade, without a doubt. Probably 80% I would believe would make that transition. Then we got to think about the other remaining students that we have to think about. What closeout work do they need, and what support and help is available for them. Then you have the others who are graduating and leaving the system. So your teachers will reach out to you, or your teacher will reach out to you to know that your child is not going to progress. If you don't hear anything from your teacher, please, or get any word or information, please reach out with an email to your campus. Otherwise, I would believe that your child has progressed and moved forward. Thank you, Ms. Turan. She says there at her campus at Bonham, campus administration will communicate that information. Your progress reporting information that just recently came out as well lets you know where your child is on track. If you've been getting information, your child is not on track, your child is not on track, your child is not on track, you're going to get a call that your child is not on track. And we need help. We need help in you ensuring that they can stay connected into their learning. If you've been getting information that your child is on track, beautiful. That means that we've held court, and we want to see, can we continue to do that over the next month and a half, next 2 months, for what learning could look like for that student, so that we can keep you on pace. And that just means just light touches around this work. Keep them reading. Go find their favorite book. Go find their interests. Keep them writing. Let's go for a walk and tell me what you see. Let's write about what you see. Keep them engaged around their learning. How do you spell this? How do you spell that? Based on the grade level. Let's take the numbers and, what's our address? What happens if you add 1? Just keep their learning. Just keep it going. Just keep it going, so that when they start in August, they are set. So you'll see all that built up in the enrichment side. You'll see pre-K 2, you'll see the 3, 6, you'll see the 7, 8, you'll see the 9, 12. You'll see it broken down in groups to be able to help you. So if you think your child is advanced, perfect. Go to the next grade level. If you know that your child advanced from 1st to 2nd, super. I would start with 2nd. I would say, okay, you did this. Let's knock out a little bit of 2nd grade work. Nothing like getting ahead and walking into class, ready to answer all those questions with a little swag, right? Because I got this. Nothing like confidence of a student to be able to walk in like that. So Rachel has a question, and this is a good one, right? What are the plans for virtual learning if needed in the fall? One of the things that we've thought about is that we need to think about a choice option that our parents, who this is work for, should be able to continue. So we're exploring what that choice could look like and how to build up a model for that. We know that there are parents that need us every day, and without a doubt, I know this. And so we know, and there are grade levels, we need you every day, and without a doubt, I know that. So I think in the fall, there's going to be a choice option for parents to say that, listen, my child has an immune health issue. and I don't know if it's safe right now. I'll be comfortable at some point in time, but right now I'm not comfortable. I got to think through that. You should have a choice then to still explore the virtual opportunity. Now it's about how do we support you during that. And some parents are like, my kid flies right there. So usually they're older, right? And around that regard. Yeah, let's do it. But we know when you're younger that we need you. I need you in my building and I need you with my teacher to celebrate that. So we're going to determine what the fall looks like. COVID-19 is going to do a lot of direction for us to determine how we navigate the fall. But I could see us, coming back in that regard. We got to think about, Rachel, how many kids we put on the bus. Do we do recess? We now have to eat in the classroom. How do we do hand wash breaks on top of restroom breaks? How many kids actually go into a classroom? Elementary classroom is about 720 square feet. Do I go back and put 22 kids back in that setting? So what does that look like? So I think there's going to be, do you have to walk in fully masked and fully clothed, with your outer garment of protection, right? So do you have to sit with plexiglass around your desk? I mean, these are all the things do I have to take your temperature every single time you walk into the building? These are all the things that we're tackling and trying to figure out, as well as everyone across the United States. We're taking leads from Denver and Denmark and the Netherlands. If you heard me speak, I'll mention them several times because they started back and they've tried to work through some strategies. Some, you think through, and some you're like, I'm not sure about that. But we're working to see what have other countries done, and what helps set us up to lead through what this work could look like. She had shared, we didn't enjoy having list of assignments given to us without instruction. Yep, I'm with you. And nothing better than knowing how to do something and having the instructions. My son just got something for his vehicle. He has a Jeep, it's a new top. And he went out there and I said, do you have the instructions? He goes, nope, I can do it without the instructions. I said, okay, we're going to see real soon, grasshopper. And he started and couldn't do it. I said, do you have the instructions? He goes, no, let me go get them. Then he was able to wrap it up. So I agree with you. Having the instructions allow you to be able to build that up. And one, we got to do better if that was happening. Two, if it was occurring, we got to make sure that they're very tight to walk you through. And then there are some things that it could be so long and intense that we want to be able to give you the starting platform and then work through what that could look like. So I think there's a little bit of everything through that. And I feel for our work from home families, I'm one of those right now, especially if you have little ones that you're trying to now navigate. It's like me doing this Facebook Live and having my third grader next to me and sectioning off the table. This is your learning space. This is my learning space. Where do we get that space? Do I got to go to a closet to take a call? Do I have to use headphones, noise canceling, whatever that might mean? I know it is a struggle. My goal is those littles should not be at home. That's my job. That's what I want. I want them because I want to keep that, build that up. And I could tell you the stress that starts in the morning because I know what it might be like. Because I'm like, let them sleep as long as they can because it's quiet and I can get my work done. Do I go to the patio and hold my meeting? What does that mean? And then when they wake up, does all hell break loose because I got to feed, lunch, I got a, meeting. Okay, where are you on your assignment? Don't touch your brother, don't touch your sister, whatever that might mean during that whole time. And I guarantee we had some people who lost a lot of hair. And from what I'm hearing through the research, there was a lot of drinking going on. So I'm sure schools help contribute to that lifestyle. I have Laura, virtual learning is not a good idea. I can't say it's not a good idea. I think it's an option. I think it's a choice. And some people, work through it and they like it. And some people it does not work for. If it doesn't work for you, then absolutely. That's what school is designed to build for you. But for some of our kids, it does work. And for some of our families, it works. And she shares it didn't work well for her son. He prefers more hands-on. And I agree with you. I think there's an environment that says, this is not the one that I look for. I like the traditional way, and that's what we offer. And you should be able to walk in that and get great results from that. Because trust me, that's what we've been doing. And we've been building great results for kids to go to Oklahoma and Texas A&M and Nebraska and Brigham Young and go all over the country. And we know that it works. So let's keep doing it. All right. Let's see. So Tanya's asking if we have virtual learning in the fall, would the kids be able to split? Go to school for some classes in virtual. I think that's interesting, Tanya, that you bring that up because I think we have kids that are going to need us every day, either through Learning Gap or through care. I just know the reality, right? You cannot. Some people do not trust the age of their student to be home and to be learning in that environment. Some people are home and can do that. I think we're going to have a model of some sort, right? Which I can't tell you all the details through because I don't have them all. But I think there'll be kids who will be with us every single day, without a doubt. I know that. I think there are kids who do well virtually, but parents want this split or this hybrid, meaning I get some virtual and some class. I think that works. Excuse me, I call that like a hybrid scenario. Then I think there are kids who do really well virtually, who we need light touches along the way just to monitor and check to make sure that they're doing all the right things, that they're carrying through, they're taking care of all their assignments, and they exist in that Google Classroom. And then they come in, periodically, but their teacher is keeping them on check with their office hours. And I think kids will fluctuate, back and forth through that. I think that model might be maybe older kid generated, depending on the family lifestyle, meaning is there support at home if you're younger to be able to launch in that. And I think those are all the questions that we have to ask ourselves. And as a school district, we have to be able to get so that we know where parents are around that choice. And I think we just offer it out. Is this what you like? And if it is, select it. And if it works, great. And if it's starting to work, but it's not just kind of making it, come back. You walk back into your regular setting because the time and space and place for all that all have to align within themselves. Thank you, Kim. She's talking about PTAs. Join your PTA. They need your help. And I'm not just talking about write the check and give them the funding. I'm talking about being an active participant with PTA. Moms, dads, especially dads, step into it. Don't let our moms just take all the glory. Step up and be a part of what that work is. Because I tell you, there are a few dads, and those dads who are there, congratulations to you to make that happen. So I would tell you, yes, plan for your regular PTA. Plan for your year. That's what we're doing. We have our first scenario. We all come back and we start it exactly like we're supposed to. So plan for that. Then if it becomes a virtual opportunity because we have to close, we know what that looks like because we're living in it right now. And we navigate into what that world could look like. But yes, plan for your year. Plan for your normal school year so that you can think about how you get information out to your parents, what you're doing to think about what's your theme for the year, your meetings. Just go ahead and put all those on. Then if we have to move to a different platform, your meetings then move down that way. Jean, we really enjoyed part of the virtual learning. Perhaps not full time. I'm with you. I don't know about full time. But if that's an option for the fall. But I think it's a mix of small classroom groups and virtual would work well for some. I'm with you, Gene. I think it'll work well for some. And I think there's some parents who bridge this really well. And you might think, hey, could we keep doing this and measure our learning and seeing if that is advancing through our assessments? Absolutely. And I think it's a challenge that we've got to put in front of ourselves. We've had some who have jumped well out and around that challenge. I'm proud of what they've done. And I think it's up to us to think about what that offer looks like for us as a community. Thank you, Jessica, on the CDC guidelines. It's going to be interesting. Just with school itself, it's just going to be interesting to see that dynamic on, what I might call a micro closure, meaning if someone gets sick in a school and, closing the school, what does that look like? And then getting started back up again and bringing those kids back while other schools are still moving along. What happens if you have a student who's in one school who's closed because they're positive, but they have a brother and a sibling who attend two other schools? Do those kids just come home, or do you close those schools too to do a 14-day wait to see if anything might occur in a quarantining? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. This is going to be really dynamic, and I think our team is really working to tackle what all that could look like because it is that dynamic. Getting to the virtual platform that we are, I would tell you, although very hard for our team within a week to 2 weeks to spin and get that out there, meaning we left the classroom, we had to provide something that was robust, that was enriching, that you could work with, and it was going to be hard because it was hard for our team. To do that in a week's time is incredible. To get the enrichment built out after we did food, to get the enrichment and then bring your teacher to your classroom to you. We had to train teachers through that. That was the easy part. Coming back is really going to be the hard part, right? So we built the platform now. So we went through all that hard work, which, in lieu of looking at everything in perspective, that was probably the easier of the things to do. Now the returning is going to be the interesting aspect. Yep, I agree with you, Sally. Virtual learning for elementary, I will tell you, that's why many people don't do it, because virtual learning for elementary does not work. I can tell you kids can only sit for the length of their age. If you are at home right now and you have a 6-year-old, 6 minutes is what you have. So imagine your day in 6-minute increments that you've got to introduce not only just new concept, but a new way of working and doing and manipulating and with something that they can touch, feel, see, smell, taste. That's got to be that interactive. And I tell you, you want to see energy, you need to go sit in a kinder classroom and watch these kinder and pre-K teachers work. They are amazing. Go into a first grade classroom. That is not easy stuff. Trust me, I tried it. And just like Arnold Schwarzenegger said one time, when he was doing it, I did it in the summer for 6 weeks. I was exhausted every day, and I would come home and tell my wife, they are monsters. And I would say, I would pass out. I could only hear my name one time, but when you hear it 100 times, you got to have some patience built into that. So just imagine the length of their age is the amount of time that they can sit through something. So you got to think about all the activity and how you engage them with song and movement, with touching. It's powerful stuff. That's what we're good at. That's why we bring them into our building. This platform is not good for them, trust me. Let's see. Tracy, thank you. I'm not opposed to a virtual learning situation, but I've been a little frustrated by the inconsistencies between different classes and teachers. Yeah, you're going to see that, right, all over the place. Like one university is not delivering the same package as every other university, and it works that way similar in our classrooms that, some teachers are ahead, some are behind, some are right on target. Some have more, some have less. It's almost like the three bears, right? And so you're going to see that around the way. And so you're going to get that through that instruction because not everybody teaches it the same way. The way I taught English is not going to be the same way as another teacher in another high school who teaches English. But one of the things is the final outcome, right? It's about how we get to the end. And when we get to the assessment, how well do you perform on that assessment based on that skill set of learning? It's an art and science all the way through. And when you have kids who are in different schools, let's say you had an elementary, a middle, and a high school, you can see the platforms operate differently with students, with teachers, by class and by subject. So I agree with you. You're not going to get everything across the board stamped the same way. It's a challenge that we'll always have for forever and ever because people bring their knowledge to learning very differently. But it's about the core concepts of things that we're teaching. We want to make sure you get that. Yep, it is going to be a little crazy. Thank you, Tessa. It happens quick and it's crazy. And yes, it will be. But that's what we live. We live for crazy. We live for it. Yep, I agree with you, Christine. One of the things that we had to work on professional development is first, let's learn the platform, which is called Google Classroom. We had some teachers who were advanced. They'd already started, they were well out ahead, and I love that. Excuse me. We had teachers who had not been there, so we had to get them on. So this leads to the other question about the inconsistencies. So we had to at least get you to understand and be familiar with the platform. But I think there's some wonderful things that come out of it, right? It comes out where the student is able to pause the teacher in mid-sentence and write some notes down, where that doesn't often occur in the classroom, because then the teacher loses the train of thought. You're trying to ask your neighbor and you miss something else by asking your neighbor, like, what did he or she just say? So you get this intimate conversation that's occurring and you get to move. So that sounds very much like an older scenario. and not a younger scenario. But I think professional development, that's our goal on what professional development could look like, building this concept further and further out. And thank you, Tessa. Yes, it's a choice. That's what it comes down to. We have worked hard over the 3 years to think about and developing what choice could look like for our community. We built an application process that was online so that you can have more access to information about choice. We built an enrollment process that says online you can come and apply to, not just apply, but register at your schools. We're giving you more information about what your schools look like, not just through state assessment, but what do they actually look like through a lens that evaluates it from outsiders who come in to say, here's what it looks like, through assessments that come in and says, this is what it looks like, to say, okay, how do we bring all those things and all those factors together and give you a score based on what that looks like, the culture, the climate, the community, the student academics, and so that you get a sense of what that looks like. And we're launching down this pathway, and that's what this is. We may have walked into something and have to go and create, or will create something that builds it up as choice. So I appreciate you putting that language in there, because I think that's essential to where we're going. I would tell you, Sue, teachers work hard. I think teachers are working harder outside this classroom environment than they were in the classroom environment. And what I mean by that is when you walk in your setting, all your things are there and you're fluid, you can walk in, you can make it happen. When you're out of your setting, you're out of place, you have to work hard to rebuild what that looked like, right? So I don't have this, so I got to go find it. And I didn't have this, so I got to go find it. How do I find it and put it in this platform called the computer? And so that challenged a lot of people to be able to find those resources and add them in. And I'll tell you, we have teachers who are burning the midnight oil around this. And I would tell you, I told staff members, we are working harder from home than we were when we were in the office. And it's an unintended element of ensuring that all the things that were in place are in place. And so you can go longer because you're in your home setting. You can go further and faster. You can start earlier. You can skip things like lunch and restroom breaks and everything else because you are so engaged around this work. And I believe that our teachers work extremely hard. So please get them credit. They've done a tremendous job around making that work happen. I see on social media so many times that people, wake up and can say some very cruel and ugly things and use language that, that, golly, does your pastor know you speak like that? And you walk into church on Sunday and everybody thinks, oh, you are, like the man or the lady. But then, if they were to get a hold of what happens on social media with this individual, you would be like, oh my gosh, this is what they say. And this is what they say about something that's an important component of our community, which is our school system. We have individuals that work tirelessly, who work hard for 26,000 plus students. And to know that, people feel like I can say anything ugly about any of that, it breaks my heart, because you're talking about that 5-year-old that was crying when it was his first day of school, and a teacher was there to support him or her in that learning. You're talking about the kids who are launching and headed off to OU to say, when you talk about their district, you're talking about them. And for me, you're talking about me. And so I'm like, we got people who would live and die to make this work happen. And I am so proud of what they've done. And when people come out like that, I call them social media bullies. You got to say something. You got to say something. I'm not talking about being mean and ugly, but you got to stand up for what you believe. And I certainly do. And some of those people I don't email anymore because they like to get my emails and send them to the MRT and put it out there like that because, they think they have it like that, right? And I don't want to give them that opportunity. But I will tell you, our teachers work hard. They didn't come into the profession to not work hard, and I appreciate what they do. So shout out to them. Bree, I think it was Bree. What are plans to protect students with compromised immune systems or students with severe asthma? I would tell you that's a challenge, and that's why choice has to be there for a parent. If you feel like your student is not going to be able to thrive in this environment because of their immune system, we got to think about that. So we got to think about, what I said earlier. Is there a sanitation station that everybody has to go through as they walk into the school? Do we take temperatures of every student who's walking through the school? Does every student have to wear a PPE mask all day long? Do students have to wear gloves while they're tackling this? It's going to be a challenge all through it. And do we only have 11 in the classroom? If you cough, like does everybody pause and stop and look at you? Like, you have to leave. You got to go to the principal's office because you were coughing. So I don't know. But I know that as a parent, you need a choice to say, is this something I need to be able to walk my student into or not? And if you don't have that choice, meaning it's a survival need, because I know and understand the mechanism of survival, because we're there to take care of kids, not only academically, but to put them in a safe, loving, and learning environment while a parent goes to work, like I used to, then one of the things we got to do is create the best environment that provides what you need. So when you leave, you feel good. I will share, let me see. Rodney puts out, what are you thinking about having volunteers back on campus, specifically senior volunteers? I think that's going to be interesting, Rodney. What I've done is I've looked at the number of staff members we have in the district that are 65 and older. I think about our grandparent volunteers as well as others for what that might look like. And right now we're going to have to probably think really closely about volunteers, individuals who come out from the community into our schools. And who do we close that off to? So that goes back to the start of school and all the things we have to look at. Like, do we just take visitors in our schools? And the likelihood is we're not going to take visitors in our schools. And we have to really think about, what does that mean for programs? What does that mean for support? Because this is a vital support. And so does someone have to be tested, almost like we do background checks for every individual? And we work with the agencies, the FBI and others, to make sure we get a good, clean background check on somebody. So now you have to have a test, a COVID-19 test, and we have to know that you are negative on the test. And yes, then you can come in. So almost like a background check. I don't know. But I would tell you, it will be a challenge because this is going to challenge everything that we've done around learning in school, everything. It's going to be a new way has been brought to us, and now it's about, can we get through this test that we're undergoing right now and provide an environment where kids get to really thrive and be successful. I think that's the piece that we've got to think through. So we've got to think about our kids first and their success, and then how do we start to incorporate all those things? Because just like I said, eating in the cafeteria is going to change. So now you're sitting in a classroom 6 feet circumference from anybody else, and now you're eating. So we've gone from a very social environment. If you've ever gone into an elementary cafeteria, oh my gosh, if I could just bottle all the energy that's happening during that time. So you go from that to now I'm eating at my desk with plexiglass around me by myself. I don't know. That's all the stuff we have to work to figure out, but that's going to be the challenge. I agree with you, Christine. I will shout out Jill Rivera. I will shout out Dr. Atkins. The work that those individuals have done, Jill Rivera and our teaching and learning team, these are the members of the community. There are members of the community who do not applaud this kind of work. Gargantuan, monumental in regards to what they've developed, whether you liked it or not, what they look to put out in front of parents and kids. We knew this was not optimal for a kinder or pre-K student with a parent who is an engineer who's trying to work on how to teach your child how to read. That we know that this was not optimal, but trying to find the resources, the support mechanisms, you should recognize that. I understand it was hard. I understand it was frustrating. I understand it was all of everything around that. But the individuals that put their time and dedication, blood, sweat, and tears to be able to provide something work. Because I'll tell you what, if we did not provide anything, if we did not give you anything, people would be looking at us like, what's going on? What's happening? Now we provide you everything, and people are looking at us like, what's going on? What's happening? So, no matter which end you are on, I tell my team what end we're going to go after. And we're going to give you so much, and yes, it's going to be hard, but I'd rather do that than not do anything at all. Let me see, Danielle, let me look through your question real quick. I haven't heard yet, but have y'all decided on how and if schools are going to be back in session, if so, for how long. You know what? Yep, don't know, but I'll tell you right now, I'm planning on coming back to school. I'm planning. So that's what you plan for. Plan to come back to school. And as we get closer and closer, we'll learn more and more based on what we have as a health impact in our community, what's going on around the state, around the country. You can see that businesses are starting to get some light opening. We'll have a summer break to see what that might look like, right? To see if we get another spike or not. And then we'll move forward. But plan for school to open, and then we would know how to pivot out of school to a platform if needed. So will there be a meet the teacher school or open house? Thank you, Erica, for that. So what we're doing is right now, for my kinder kids especially who are coming back for the very first time, we're going to try to do a virtual meet your teacher. So we piloted with the school to launch what that could look like, to do a virtual meet the teacher and a school tour, almost like if you were touring a home and you were shopping for a home online, right? You can look at a tour, a video of what that could look like. Not optimal, but it is a sample of what it could look like. Now we get then to think about, you have the tour, the video tour. So can we introduce, first grade teachers to kinder, second to first, rising, that are moving up to the next grade level? Could we think through what that looks like? We're not there yet, but we'll see how we progress and determine how you get to meet your teacher. Or do we set up the classrooms and almost like office hours, there becomes a time where the kids get to meet their teacher that way? I think the logistics of it we could work through, but time will tell. Let me see here. Oh, thank you. I don't know if it's Jessica or Amanda. They signed up for summer camp. It is a sign up. Please sign up. And they're waiting to see which ones they got into. I hope you get the ones that you want, because I think that's going to be exciting, and looking to see what that could look like and move into our future. All right, we got about just a few more minutes. I'm going to tell everyone that our summer feeding, we were doing 30 plus sites. We're going to go down to 11 sites, go to our online access to find out where those sites are. Know that also that the state is putting out for our economically disadvantaged families what summer feeding could look like by providing a credit card for those families to be able to get that support. That will be on our website for information. You have to apply for it. You have to be economically disadvantaged. And it comes through our summer feeding program. That information will be plugged right there. So look for that information for you guys to get started around that. So our locations, we'll still have a bus location. We'll still have a Fire Station 4 location for you guys out north. And so just stay plugged in for what that could look like and support each other around that process. I will tell you, after school programs, I see something from Erica. What about, we have a great partner, and they're called Right at School. They're after school care. We're still building what that could look like. For summer, we know that we're going to need parents who are going to need some support as businesses start to open, as we start to engage, what that might look like. So we're working through what a summer plan might be to have Right at School available. And they would put 9 kids to an instructor. They would have all the cleaning and equipment. They would have all the healthcare checks that are built in, knowing that we have parents who are going to need that as part of their child care. And I get that. And so we're working to see how we might be able to build that and have that roll out to you. So look for more information around Right at School and our after school care plan. Speaking of Wi-Fi and devices, I will tell you that we're going 1-to-1 next year. I'm excited about what that could look like. So that 1-to-1 would mean that we would have laptops for our littles, pre-K2. We would have tablets for our littles, pre-K2, and we would have laptops for our older ones, 3-12, so that they're able to engage that way. Looking at how we set up access, which is how do you get this internet access, which should be available to everybody at the same speed, no matter where you're at, and the same quality. So we're looking at, could we do something beyond just hotspots? So we're exploring what it might look like to do Wi-Fi towers or Wi-Fi extensions that are in our buildings. So we're taking a plan and building a plan that might be able to outfit our entire city. It's not going to be cheap. We need partners built into this that would, in essence, Wi-Fi our city to push access out for all of our kids to get to our network. So that's another undertaking, that our team is working through, and I like the progress that they're making around that. Anna has a question. What will happen to those students who were in the middle of evaluations for SPED, ARD meetings, etc.? So one of the things that you'll see is that if you had an ARD that was going to be scheduled, look to see about that ARD getting scheduled. And if we are not able to schedule that, and I'm going to speak for the special education department, to see if that is going to be conducted virtually, because I believe it can. And you just have to have all the right people in the meeting, hearing and seeing all the right things. And then if there's an evaluation that was to occur, that's another one that is special ed. How will they be able to conduct what that evaluation could look like for the way that that student learns in their own unique way? And so how do we approach that? So yes, you would look to see what that would look like. And then if there are services that we needed to provide, we call them compensatory services. We couldn't give them to you then, but we will be able to offer them in this other window. Look for what it might be to be able to offer compensatory services based on the need of your child during this time. You should have heard from your special education department and teachers and staff members who have been working with your kiddos to get abreast of what sits out there for your students' assessment, whether it be speech. My daughter went through speech pathology because she had a really strong lisp, and they worked with her through that. Or if it be an academic learning need, what does that look like for your academic learning need that your student needs to have? If they've not reached out to you, please, like I've said time and time again, reach out to them so that they're aware of what sits out there. But it's my belief that my team has done what I've asked them to do, which is to reach out to you. Couldn't say it's perfect, but that they reach out to you and share how your kid is moving along through this process. School year start, don't have that just yet. We're working on a calendar. We had a calendar that we brought 2 calendars back in February, and this is part of Dr. Atkinson's talk on Tuesday. We asked the board when they weren't too sure of the second calendar, which was an innovative calendar that provided holiday break and learning breaks after every 9 weeks. It would provide for a 2-week break, which the first week could be academic learning time for students who are behind, and then the second week be vacation, or it's 2 weeks of vacation for a student potentially. So traditional calendar that we have on the website for 2021 has an August, I believe it's 19th start date. So look at that, just know that that's what we're at. If the board within the next month or so decide to go to the innovative calendar, once we present our information, that date would change. We'd go off the 19th. We'd move off the 19th and move up. One of the things that we're thinking through is that if we're going to get ahead on some of these things, and people are talking, let's get back to school, we might need to get ahead of what could be a spike that might happen, as well as how do we approach academics in this time where we've not been around each other, and could we get ahead on our academic side and push academic learning into the school year that really helps us thrive. And I think that's the bigger piece behind it. So you have a date, stay tuned in case something does modify itself along the way. For subs, yeah, unless we come back, Danielle, I couldn't tell you where it is for subs. So we have our sub process and build up. So please go to HR if that's a question that you might have in signing up to become a sub. And then we'll see how we navigate what that looks like once we come back. We're always going to need subs, whether it's teachers getting professional development and training, or a teacher needs that time off because of a health reason. Subs will always be a part of our work. So just know once we come back, that will be a point of access for us. Yes, Abby, the board trustees, once we present this information and get it all packaged and round up, we're going out for a survey. So if you get word on a survey, please respond. It's got a lot of information in there, about 15 questions that talk about reentry, and then share in both calendars to you and ask for your feedback on those calendars. And we'll present that to the board, and the board will then at that point in time make a decision to say this is where we want to go or this is where we don't want to go, but the board would vote. Thank you, Jamie. Talking about the innovation that we've been doing. It's been 3 years of innovation. It's been 3 years, and I will tell you it's not been easy. I understand it's been hard. When I first arrived, people talk about, we want change. Then change came, and they're like, no, we don't want change. So it's about balancing all those things, and I think that's going to be the interesting part behind it all. And and making sure that our team, that I don't burn them out work-wise based on the activity that we have. So I'm proud of the individuals who stepped into bringing this wanted and unwanted change that's come about. So kudos to them. Yeah, Erica, I mean, that's the challenge, right? You got to think about it. When we go shopping at Walmart or Albertsons or HEB, we're not sure what's all around us, but we have to do it. And same thing about, our kids coming to school. It's, need your kids to be in school because you want them to learn. Need your kids in a learning environment, whether it be school or whether it be the online platform. And as a parent, you need a choice to say, am I worried and scared about what this looks like? Because this is real. This is not pretend. This is real stuff that we're dealing with. And what does that look like? And I think that's the challenge that we have in front of us. And you need to make a choice around what that could look like. And age dependent on your child, are they able to navigate that with you, without you? What does that look like? And it's not going to be easy. Trust me, it's not going to be easy. We're going to have people who are going to be sick, I would suspect, from what I've heard from some of my hospital officials in the fall. And it's going to be a reality of what we're going to be going through for a little while, and we got to be able to understand how we make adjustments along the way. And as parents, you have to make a decision for what is best for your most precious gift. I understand that. I've got 3 of them. You know what's best for your most precious gift, and we're here to support you along that way. So I understand what that means, and and we're going to work together through this, and we're going to support you through this. We're going to be frustrated through it, but we'll be there together. Trust me. Okay, let me see. Nelly, I want to see what you've got there. Thank you for tuning in. It's all right if you're late, and I wouldn't call it late. You just tuned in when you could. If parents aren't feeling safe yet for kids to return to school, will there be an option to do virtual? Yep, that's called choice, and we have talked about that. I was just coming off that comment before you posted that there should be a choice option for parents. Now it's about choice because you can make this work happen, not choice because you cannot do it. So how do you make this online learning environment work? If your child is older, how do you keep the discipline for what that looks like, right? You still need to get up. You still need to take your lunch. You still need to walk and exercise. You still need to get on the platform. If it's, at what point in time? Is it at 8:30 to 9:30 at night, but you're putting in the work? Or is it at 5:30 to 6:30 in the morning because you're putting in the work, but you're putting in the work? And then what does it look like by age appropriateness? Because I think that's a factor that we got to really think through. How old is your child, and what are you there to support them the younger and younger and younger they are? Not that you don't need support when they're older. Trust me, you need it. But what does that look like? My kids as well, right? Erica shares that, her kids haven't been around anyone, right? So they're like, contaminant free, and we're about to walk out into this unknown space. So what does that look like do you do shorter days, but does 1 minute or 1 second of interaction, no matter how short or how long your day is, that's the interaction, and that's when something might occur. I think those are the challenges that we have in front of us, So long day, short day. Half of students come one day, half of students come another day. Well, where do those other half go when they're not present? Because parents need someplace for them to go. Do they get something, or how do we contaminant proof that place that they're going to? It's going to be a challenge. This is why we got to be together, and we got to work together through this. Can't be divided. This is putting some really big obstacles in front of us, but this is what we do. This is the challenge that we live for, to go after and say we can get over, around, under. We're going to get through that obstacle, and we're going to figure out a way. It's what we did to start this COVID-19 process right now, and we'll continue to work through that. Yep, Elizabeth, we do have childcare options for our kids. We have 2. We have Henderson and Coleman. Yep, you already mentioned Henderson has an amazing facility. That is one that we'll have available. We've offered it out in the event that our hospitals started getting inundated with COVID-19 patients, and the medical staff needed support and help. So we had that available. They didn't need to use it, but it was available for us to get started in opening. And we built even a larger triage facility and a plan in the event that our community was just racked like New York and others, that we had to think about, large child care facility. We didn't have to go there, but we had that plan built in to support what our community might need. But yes, we will have it. All right, Tanya, I'm about to get to our last couple of questions. My youngest son is a senior this year. My final year with MISD. Feeling emotional. Trust me, my wife cries every day. And not to set you up, but I would tell you, you start to reminisce almost what I said earlier, cherishing every moment. She cried because she no longer could take my son to school. My son now had his car. And she would drive by the school and start crying. It was the last time for this. Celebrate those moments. Write them down, right? Take a picture. Celebrate those times because those are what you want to capture, right? It is culminating. And I'm excited about him becoming a senior and the great things he's going to do. He is doing it in a very unusual way that no one has had to do ever before in the history of education. He's going to navigate this in a new way, for a new world for us. And he's at the tip of the spear, and I'm proud of what he's about to go into. So kudos to you. Get plenty of tissue, but you're going to be okay. All right, with that, I'm gonna say good evening. We've had an hour of time together. I appreciate the time, the questions that you guys have put out there. We'll be coming back to you. We're not going to let this go. We took a little hiatus. We came back with a big chunk of information last week, but I will tell you, thank you guys. I will tell you, shout out to the team. They've done an incredible job. Keep supporting them. Let's be sure that we're doing a lot of things with positive intent and that we're partners in this. And to ensure that partners work together, there's a lot of trust that has to be built. We're working through that and understand that we understand what that means for you. So we will be next online. We're going to try to work this once a week to come back to you guys. And stay tuned on social media for when we plug in next. With that, congratulations, celebrations. I'm glad we've made it. And guess what? It's 5 o'clock somewhere. And so enjoy your evening and half day tomorrow, half day. It should be a fun day. Make it a fun day. There should be no tests tomorrow. Make it a fun day. And we'll see you real soon. Out.